In this video, I'm gonna do a live demo and real-time review of my experience with PicStudio.AI. This is a software platform where you upload a handful of photos of yourself, and in return, you get a whole package of different photos of you generated by AI. This is actually something I saw on a recent Tim Ferriss podcast, and he was walking through some of what this had generated for him, and I thought the photos were actually quite good. And I had seen also colleagues at work, I believe they use this platform, and judging by some of the results you'll see, it looks to be the case that they use this platform, and some of the results were kind of interesting. Some pictures were good, some were not at all representative of the person. But for the first time, I'm going to try it because I'd like to have some new photos and maybe different attire. I don't want to have to go and do a photo shoot or spend a ton of money. Would like to have maybe a new photo for my LinkedIn profile. And in the process, I hope AI levels me up a little bit, makes me look a little bit better than perhaps I do in real life, but it still has to be realistic. So we're gonna see what it generates, and I'm gonna go through the process, the different packages they offer, pricing, all that good stuff. And you're gonna see the results of this, and I'll give you my review on whether I think these are good outputs. And I think it also bears noting that with any kind of generative AI, the output is only as good as the input. So in this case, and you'll see this, if you put in low quality photos, you're going to get some outputs that maybe aren't so good. So as I'm going through my process of selecting the photos to input into this platform, I'm trying to select some of the better ones, some of the more recent ones of different points in time, maybe slightly different angles, different facial expressions. And I'm trying to give this model as much as I can for it to train from and then give me an output that I think is going to work. But we'll see. Stay tuned till the very end and you'll see the output of what's gonna come out to about 120 photos. Gonna breeze through a lot of them and then really highlight the ones that are exceptionally bad, but also look at the ones that I think are really, really good that I would see myself using. So with that said, let's jump right into it. Now here we are on the website, PicStudio.AI. You can see for yourself some of the outputs according to whoever, I don't know who that person is that they're showcasing, but you can see them in a variety of different attire, different backgrounds. So all cool stuff. We'll see what kind of options we get. They have two options here to start with at least. They have a starter kit and a pro bundle. The only difference really is you get more photos with the pro bundle and you get 3 photo packs instead of 1 photo pack. So what is a photo pack? Really what it is sort of a suite of themes. And in this case, you know, you've got your visionary, which, you know, very Steve Jobs-esque. You got a bunch of black turtlenecks in some of the photos. You got something where you're a little bit more serious. You've got vintage lounge. This one actually is really cool, but again, you've got this maybe rustic background and the attire fits the theme. Interestingly enough, there's one for YouTube portraits. And if you know anything about YouTube and some of the thumbnail designs, it's generally with heightened expressions, you know, incredulous looks on people's faces and something to really draw attention and get clicks. So that's that whole package. I actually went ahead and did that one too, you'll see. But I actually did the corporate one as well. So I got a total of 120 photos. 160. 120 I'll show you. So here I'll be creating my account. I'll sign in through Google. And I'm gonna go ahead and buy the 120 photos. It looks like it gives you some options for, I don't know quite what this is. You think you get regular, it's like a subscription, I guess, but that's not something I care to do. And then of course we get to the payment. So, you know, it's $39.99 and we will proceed here. All right, so once you process the payment, you're given the option to choose up to your 3 photo packs. So in this case, I'm gonna go with visionary, and they give you some options as far as clothing. I'm just gonna do random. I'm assuming if I picked one of those, maybe they would give me consistently the same things, and I don't want that. I want something random with at least some variety. I'll also do the vintage lounge, and it looks like it gives you some other options as well in terms of camera and clothing, of course. But again, I'm just gonna do random because I just wanna see what it produces for me and gives me some variety that I can select from. Keep in mind, it gives you 40 photos per package. Not all of them are going to be great. In fact, I would expect most of them are not going to be good. So, but for what it costs, which is not very much, if I can get 1 or 2 good photos out of a pack of 40, that seems like a win to me. And here I'll do YouTube portraits, and just to show you what that looks like, there's one for corporate, which you won't see here. I did that separately, but I will show you some of the outputs from that. And if you want to stay till the end, there's some really funny ones for YouTube portraits. This one actually was really bad. So you'll see all that. That'll be fun. Once you select your 3 photo packs, you hit next, and then you go to add a selfie. You go through a bunch of different details. I don't really think you need to add a selfie, because eventually it's going to ask you for some other details: age, ethnicity, eye color, body type, glasses, male, female, hair length. Once you do that, you continue, and then you get to a section where it gives you tips and guidelines. So this is everything that we saw in the FAQ. So again, just high quality photos. The better the input, the better the output. It's kind of funny now that I think about it. In order to get a good generated photo, you should have good photos to put in there, which is like, well, that's how the only way you get those is with professional quality photos. So if you have those are great. And I've got some from my wedding. So that's something that's very easy to include here. And I think it's gonna feed a lot of the training. So here you upload at least 8 photos. I'm guessing you can add more, but I'm just gonna upload 8 of me at different points in time. And I've got a little bit of gray in my beard and in my hair. A lot of the photos I'm going to be uploading are of me a few years back, not terribly long ago, but definitely didn't have as much gray. So a lot of the output's going to be with a little bit more black in the beard and in the hair. So once you've got all your photos, you continue. You agree to T's and C's. Hopefully I'm not agreeing to anything that's crazy. And you confirm and submit, and then the training starts. The model starts taking the inputs that you've provided, and then over the course of the next 30 minutes, you'll get your photos and we get to review them. So 30 minutes, very quick actually, and you'll be able to see all the photos in the dashboard. So here we are for the grand reveal, which is actually ended up buying the 4 photo packs. So we've got corporate, vintage lounge, YouTube portraits, and visionary. I'm going to start actually with corporate, and let's go through and see some of the photos here and if they're actually any good. We'll see. And off the bat, these are actually quite good. And again, you'll notice that a lot of these are half body. In some cases, you'll see some full body, and it does a fairly good job of capturing my physique, which is interesting. My shoulders are a little bit slightly more broad than what some of these photos are showing, but as far as the look, eyes, beard, hair, it's pretty spot on at a glance. And of course, when you go through them, you can blow them up a little bit and you can see a little bit more detail. So this one looks fairly good. One of the photos that I uploaded was from a long time ago where I parted my hair a different way. And so you'll notice there's gonna be some photos where my hair is parted like this to the other direction. I don't know what direction that ends up being, but you'll see some of those differences. And if I were to do this again, I would focus on, okay, well, what's the hairstyle that I prefer, which is the one I've had for the last many years at this point, which is not this. So I'm going to rule this one out, but it's pretty good. This one looks interesting. My hair looks almost too perfect there. I think there's a little bit of excess contrast in the photos. So really black blacks and really white whites, and really creates a separation in the hair. This is not something I would likely wear. So that's also when you're thinking about your AI photos, whatever it generates for you, pick something that's realistic to what you would actually wear in real life. I don't have any tan jackets and I don't wear turtlenecks at all. I think turtlenecks are very uncomfortable. That's a no-go. This one looks a little bit weird to me. My face looks a little bit scrunchy. I also wouldn't wear that color combination. And some of these, my face looks a little bit off. And that's okay. And with every photo, you'll notice some slight variations and different poses. Does a good job of capturing what the size of my arms are actually. So that's interesting. I don't often wear a tie, but That's okay. The smile looks a little bit weird to me. This one's a little bit odd. This one makes me look a little bit more round, so a little bit off there. That one's okay, but my eye looks a little bit off. And you'll really want to be careful with a lot of these photos. You'll notice if you look in a little bit more detail, there's going to be some oddities with respect to eyes or fingers. There's one where you'll see where I've got 3 arms, basically. But the one nice thing about the corporate package is most of these are of you smiling, because when you're uploading a LinkedIn photo or, for a number of reasons or a number of scenarios, a smile generally means you're more approachable, or at least that's the perception. So it's definitely a good thing. And the corporate package is going to give you most of these with smiling. Here's a full body shot. This one looks actually pretty okay. Not quite my proportions, but it does a really good job for not having seen the rest of my body. So good proportions there. This one's me if I allow myself to indulge myself a little bit with cuisine. So it's interesting that it grabs some of the photos and extrapolated a little bit to see, okay, well, maybe there's some chance that he's put on a few lbs. This one I like quite a bit. I think that one does a pretty good job. This one looks a little bit creepy to me. This is something I would wear, but I don't like the facial expression. That one, the proportions look really off. My head looks way too big. And this one's actually pretty good. I like this one. I think I've got this one. You can like the photos, you can dislike them, so you know which ones you can come back to. This one I like a lot. So proportions are really good. I've got, 3-piece suits with the vest. I wear ties very seldomly. So this is not out of the question. This is a very professional look, obviously. This one's okay, but I look a little bit too slender there. And that's about it for the corporate photos. We're gonna do some of the more, in my opinion, more the fun ones. And again, depending on what your goal is for your photos and what you're going for, where these photos are going to exist, and what you're trying to convey about your professional brand or personal brand, you've got these other packages that you can play with. I'm gonna do the vintage. Actually, let me do the visionary next, because that's a little bit closer to what corporate would be. And this one, a lot more serious. Way less smiling, much more looking out into the middle of nowhere and looking out windows. So this one was a lot of fun to take a look at, and the results are fine. I think they're pretty okay. Most of them are kind of average and not what I would use, but some of them are actually quite good. Again, most of these pictures don't suit me too well because I don't wear turtlenecks, and you'll see a lot of turtlenecks here. And again, a lot of black on black. I generally have some lighter colors. I wear a lot of brown shoes. Brown shoes don't go great with black suits. And again, just like I said, very Steve Jobs-esque, very serious. And some less serious. This is something I would wear. But some of these photos, again, things I wouldn't wear, or in some cases, the proportions of my head and my face and eyes are just slightly askew. And, again, everyone's going to be their own worst critic or own, you're going to scrutinize yourself quite a bit, and you're going to know all the details about, what makes your face, and you'll notice all the imperfections, all the irregularities in what these AI generated photos are giving. This one's actually kind of nice. I think, though, I'm going to go ahead and like that one, but I think my face on that one is a little bit longer than usual. This one's fine. This one's actually cool. This one I've got liked. This is not a suit length I would wear, but everything from waist up looks really pretty good to me. So I like this one. Again, I wouldn't wear black on black, but putting that aside, if I did, this is what I would look like. And we get into a series of photos I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm here cracking a weird little smile. My proportions make me look a little bit too slender. I don't like it. This one looks odd. My eyes are not what they are normally. This one's very, I guess, regal, but again, a little bit too serious. This one actually had some potential, but then what ruins the picture is basically the reflection here in the middle, almost to the middle of my forehead. So this one's a no-go. This one's got some irregularities. This one, my forehead looks a little bit too big, and I'm not gonna be popping a suit collar, which is what it looks like is happening there. This one's creepy to me. This one is especially creepy. Weird expression. Eyes are a little bit maybe too big, and then I definitely wouldn't wear that color of sweater. Never say never, but I don't have it. Don't have one now. Don't plan to buy one anytime soon. This one's odd to me. There's definitely some irregularities. Doesn't quite look like me there. Now this one I do like. I've got this one liked. I think this is a really good representation of me, and this is something I would wear. Proportions look good. Good contrast, good color. I like this one. This one, I feel like I look like a supervillain here. Got some bad intentions, this guy. So that's gonna be a no. Extra creepy. Creepy alert right there. That one I do not like. That's gives me the heebie-jeebies for sure. Now here's another one I actually did like quite a bit because I do have, again, the founder vibe, but I've cracked a little bit of smile in this AI photo, and I'm looking off into a distance, so a little bit more approachable, but that one I do like, so that one I will certainly keep. And this one's kind of interesting. It's, again, AI took some liberties here, and this is what I would look like, and it's actually probably a good representation. I'd have to imagine this is what I would look like if I weighed an extra, 30 pounds or so, but it's not me, at least not right now. And then there's a handful more that are all okay. None of them that I would be jumping to use, so we'll end that one there. And then we'll get to to me, what is the most fun one. There's some really cool photos in here. Photos that maybe I wouldn't necessarily use, but the fact that AI could generate some of these and capture a lot of detail that I'm not giving it, as far as my full body and legs you'll see kind of here, and footwear and all these things. So it's really fascinating. So we'll go through some of these. Again, some of these colors I wouldn't wear at all, but that's part of the vintage vibe, and I told it to give me random selection. So this one I don't like. It's not a good figure, although it's pretty true to life on my arms. Fairly accurate. That's actually pretty good. This one I add about 2 inches on my bicep. I'm gonna say this one's a little bit more true to life after a workout for sure. Kind of interesting. These are clothes that I would wear. So this is pretty true to life. I don't like the expression too much, but I like the attempt. More black turtlenecks, not my style. This one's fun. I've got an itch on my cheek apparently, but decent pose. Again, very regal here. Not my favorite. We'll skip it. Definitely don't like this color shirt, the shirt choice. But again, the arms are actually quite good. Like, those look like those would be my arms. Same with this one. This is a pretty good representation, except my shoulders are really a little bit more wider than that, but the arms are spot on. These are all okay. Don't really represent me too well. This one, I've got my hands showing. You gotta have the classic thinking man pose. Thinking very hard about stuff, important things. Again, more thinking, but now I'm looking right at the camera. This one, I look a little bit too tall and lanky. This is not quite my proportion, but okay. And also definitely wouldn't wear that color, not my style. This one is, I guess, the 40 extra pound version of me, a little bit on the heavier side. Now here's one that I thought was interesting. There's one or two other photos like this, but I've got a blue button up khaki pants, and penny loafers. These are I don't have actually penny loafers. I've yet to find ones that I like, but I would wear them, and I've got other loafers. But it's capturing, these look like they would be my ankles and my feet and my legs. This is a really good output. I don't like the face so much, but the rest of the output is surprisingly very good. Here's the other one where I've got the full body. My legs are quite a bit longer than in real life. That's okay. Again, the ankles, the leg hair, the detail. I mean, it's wild to see. And again, these are shoes that I would wear. These are clothes that I would wear. That's really cool to see what this all looks like with the backdrop. I love the backdrop, by the way. So again, in a lot of these, they do a pretty good job with the face. You get your occasional irregularities that make it not quite what you're looking for, and then other times they do a decent job with the physique, and other times it's a little bit irregular as well. So it's hard to find a photo with a good combination of both. Here's a photo of me where I have 3 arms, so pretty not true to life. I've only got 2 last I checked. This one's actually a pretty good one. I'm gonna go ahead and save that one. This is something I would wear, but this is a good photo. I like it. This one, my face, that does not look like me, so that's no good. That one's okay. And that's it for the vintage. So again, there's some really good options there. Good variety. Of course, you can prompt it as you're going through the process to get really specific on what you want AI to output for attire, and some other variables you can play with. But again, this is all really good. Now for fun, we'll look at some of the YouTube portraits, and if you've seen any YouTube thumbnails, you'll see expressions like these. These ended up being extraordinarily bad. Almost none of these look like me. And I think with the challenge with, it's almost embarrassing to show. So I'm not even gonna click into them. You see it here, looks ridiculous, looks really bad. I think AI is having a challenge with taking if you're uploading neutral expressions, which you should, mostly neutral expressions, you're not, you can be smiling, of course, but it's extrapolating, okay, based on these neutral expressions, what would you look like if you have a surprised look on your face, or scared, or angry, or happy? It's extrapolating a lot. Unfortunately, it's not doing a fantastic job here. It's giving me some really crazy things with eyebrows. These are my eyebrows. In some cases, my eyes are pretty warped. And yeah, these are not good. I would not use any of these for any thumbnail. Some of them are creepy. I've got a weird situation happening here with my fingers in my hand. Ooh, yeah, these are in no way flattering, but I do this in the name of research for you, so you know what you're getting yourself into if you decide to do YouTube AI portraits. 1 out of 10 would not recommend this, but for everything else, we're looking pretty good. And apparently with PicStudio.AI, it looks like, and this is something I'm just now seeing, it gives you, if you need to do a do-over and retrain AI with a different set of pictures, which again, if you do one upload and you realize, okay, it's not the output I was hoping for, it doesn't look like me, it's an opportunity to come back, give it some different photos, and see if you get a better output. And that may require you to take some photos of yourself that are good quality photos, try it again, and it looks like they discount for you if you decide to do a redo. So in review, I've flagged a few of them that I liked. And like I said, you're getting many photos, and most of them are not going to be usable. They'll be pretty good, but not quite usable. So even if you get a small handful, it's a win, because this is way less expensive, way less time consuming, and honestly, a little bit more interesting than going to a photo shoot. And I'm not discouraging that either. You can get some really good local photographer, get that done. It's gonna cost you a little bit more money and time, but that's okay. It's maybe something you should do anyway, and use some of those photos to feed AI and give you some different backdrops, give you some different attire. But just from the corporate photo pack, I've got 2 of them that I liked, which are these. I think these are fantastic. They capture me really well. This is attire that I would wear, have worn before. Facial proportions are really good. Everything's fantastic. So I love these pictures. I'm gonna use likely one of these for my LinkedIn. And because they do full body, for some of these, or at least a lot of the body, there's a good opportunity for me to use this on perhaps my website and in other bits of digital real estate. So I'm really excited to use these photos, and again, really impressive outputs here. So folks, hope that was helpful. If you are interested in getting some AI generated photos of yourself to use in LinkedIn or in other places, this is a really good resource, and you saw firsthand the results that I got. I got some really good photos out of it that I can use that are very true to life. So make sure to check out the link I'm providing to you. I'm not actually affiliated with them, but again, this is something I saw on a Tim Ferriss podcast, and I'd been meaning to do an AI generated photo shoot, for lack of a better term, to see if I can get some good results here. So this is well worth it. Doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It doesn't cost me really any time at all, apart from just needing to go through the process, upload the pictures. Good seamless process, makes sense, fairly intuitive, good outputs. Got some really good results here that I can use, and I'm quite satisfied. I know there's other AI photo generation platforms out there. I have not tested anything else. This is the first, and I don't really see the need to test more. I'm sure AI is going to get more sophisticated in the future. Maybe there'll be better platforms, but as far as what I need right now, this is doing the trick. So again, hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to check out the link if you want to look into this for yourself. And for more information or more tips on LinkedIn, I talk a lot about LinkedIn because again, that's your digital profile, your professional profile, and your brand that's out there for the world to see. You want to make sure you have a good quality photo for it. So this is a way to do that. So I've got some other content where I talk about LinkedIn optimization. Make sure to check that out as well.